Well, hello again folks, hope you're all still fitting well out there. This was filmed back in May, and I'm up and out early hoping to hit the hooded crows, as the farmer who owns this ground has just started lambing. And over the last few years, as soon as the lambing has got into full swing, it seems to draw in a lot of hooded crows. In fact, I've shot here, I'm sure you've seen the footage, a few years beforehand, where I've managed to get 7 or 8 birds in the one morning. They're attracted to the area because of afterbirth laying and sometimes the odd stillborn lamb, but unfortunately they don't stop there, and they'll even have a go at the ewe herself. While she's tuckered out and not able to defend herself during the lambing process, they'll go for her eyes or her elder. Plus, they'll also go for the lamb while it's still halfway out of the ewe, going for its eyes or its tongue, as the lambing process can be quite lengthy if it's a big lamb. To attract the crows down for a safe shot with the rifle, I'm using a dead rabbit for bait, which I split open and shake the guts out of, to make it look as if something killed it that night, ate its fill and left the rest. The sheep aren't actually in this field this year, they're in the next field over, as they're leaving this field to grow long for silage, so unfortunately the grass is a little longer than I would like, but it shouldn't cause a problem. The rifle that I'm using is a CZ527 Varmint, chambered in 17 Hornet centerfire. The scope is a Meopta 4-16x44 tactical, and the suppressor is a Wildcat Panther chambered in 17 caliber, and I'm using a Tacticam Solo and the FTS unit to film through the scope. I must have been rightly hidden, as when I was going back through the footage to edit it, I noticed this little fella must have came out of the cover and was sitting just a few yards in front of the hide. If it hadn't have been for the camera footage, I never would have known it was there. I'd been waiting for quite a while at this stage, when a couple of large dark birds swooped down over the top of the dead rabbit and landed in one of the nearby trees, before dropping down onto the ground. But unfortunately it wasn't hooded crows, it was a couple of ravens. Now the farmer has had trouble with these birds in the past. They do attack sheep, yes, but they're fully protected by the UK law in Northern Ireland and the UK, so we can't touch them. While the ravens were demolishing the rabbit, I'm pretty sure I heard a hooded crow in the distance. So I started wailing away in the Nordic crow call, hoping I might call it in closer. It took a bit of time, but it finally dropped in once the ravens had ate their fill. Well, it took some time, but that's the first one in the bag. I waited a good 5-10 minutes without any sight or sound of any other crows, then headed out and set the bird I just shot up as a decoy. You might be able to hear a rookery in the distance. Now, I don't shoot the rooks in this ground, as they don't seem to do the sheep any harm, and the farmer believes that they do the ground good by eating the leather jackets, which is a small grub that lives underground and eats the grass roots. You wee stinker you. Well, the field needs fertilised anyway. Sometime after I almost dunked myself, a magpie turned up. Now, I usually leave the magpies alone and use them as decoys to hopefully bring down a hooded crow. They're my main target. But I've been sitting this morning for quite a while with next to nothing to prove for it, so magpie's in trouble. Oh dear, those little 20 gram Vmaxes are soaring the magpies. I just let the magpie lie where it fell, as I didn't really think there'd be much left of it to make a decoy out of, and decided to keep myself hidden would probably be a better idea. Which turned out to be the right idea, because guess what turned up? Yep, another hooded crow, just dropped in out of the blue. Sometime after that last shot, one of the ravens turned back up again, and it wasn't at all happy that the hooded crows and that magpie had moved in on its free meal. I'd been sitting for 5 hours or more, listening to the sound of nature with the warm sunlight on the hide, and found I was inspecting the inside of my eyelids quite a lot at this stage, so decided it was probably time to head home. Okay, let's see how we've done. Oh man, the ravens really did go to town on that rabbit. Ribs are broken and everything. Boy, they can really munch down and stuff. But anyway, this field you might recognise, and I've managed to get 7 or 8 crows on it before in the past, but I've only managed to get 2 in a magpie, that being the first one that I came out and set up on a as a decoy in a wee wire cradle, and that's the other 2. I don't know why there's so few about. Maybe I've been doing a good job over the years. Haven't really heard much in the background, but I've got the pair and a magpie in the bag, so at least I didn't blank for the day. And I'm tired, I'm wanting to go home. So, cheerio bye folks. I'll just gather this mess up before I go. Being a silage field, the farmer won't want any dead birds lying in it that might get picked up in the harvester. And I think what's left of that rabbit will go in the hedge. Oh dear, very bad photography there. I've got the shadow of the camcorder in the picture, but I never said I was a professional. That's the end of another one, folks. I'm afraid it's another meagre value with just the 3 birds, but that was 3 less for the lambing fields. I do have better footage coming once I manage to edit it, but until then, take care and look Look after yourselves, hey.